Connor Beers here, and I will be talking to you about the project Termination for the rough terrain robot. Again, the rough terrain robot is an autonomous robot involving sensors to move across a course where boulders are placed in front of it. The robot must avoid the boulders and avoid the walls and then sense when it is at the finish line. Moving forward, I believe that background information regarding these sensors and regarding navigation and the code and kind of how to work about navigation and a little about sensors will be crucial for completing this project on the limited timeline that we were given. Given more time, I believe that research could have been done and all this information could have been gathered, but the limited timeline really set us back. Again, the overall goal is for the robot to move autonomously, and the sensors are to be placed at the front, side, back, and bottom in order to attain for all obstacles that it may encounter. With that being said, again, previous information regarding the project is necessary. I initially wanted to do the project using the Raspberry Pi microcontroller, but then I found out that there was more information and more of ways how to use the Arduino Uno microcontroller. And then I was able to gather enough code and enough resources to where once the robot is assembled and it can then be tested on the first half of the course. So the code should be able to make the robot move straight once it is assembled, and a schematic has been provided in the notebook of how to set up the robot to the microcontroller and to the motor drivers within the robot chassis. And once that is done, and given that the robot is able to move in a straight path, then the sensors can be implemented and attached to the robot and the motor drivers and the microcontroller, and then the code can just be tweaked to implement for the sensors that are there. And then at this point, I have all the materials that are gathered. Again, the Arduino code is together and should be sufficient enough to run the robot straight. And then the robot essentially just needs to be assembled and then tested. And then after that, any additional changes can be made to make the robot more efficient.